When I give my live presentations and I ask the audience for the reasons they don't like networking, it actually always comes down to one of the three reasons. First of all, there are a lot of people out there who have something to sell. And being sold to is not a comfortable feeling. The mistake that those salespeople make is that they take their sales processes like cold calling and doing client demos, they take that to the networking floor straight away. Now, I once went to a networking event where in the first 5 minutes a lady tried to hand me out access codes to her new product in the hopes that I would like it and buy it for the agency that I worked at the time. Now, I did not lead to a sale. Instead, I was left with an uncomfortable feeling being identified as a lead so directly. Now, I didn't want to disappoint her, but I also didn't feel like going through the hoops of signing up on the spot and anticipating the sales call next week, even though her product was interesting to me. I felt she identified me as a lead and wanted to sell to me. Now, this is not how networking should be done. Yet there are loads of people who just don't know any better. And they sell on the networking floor, just like they do in the office. They're not really making valuable connections, they're just on the hunt, like a shark in the ocean. And as no one likes to be bitten, people are not looking forward to meet sharks at a networking event. Now, sharks tend to go for the big fish, so to speak. They go after highly influential people because they have the most direct buying power. But as a result, high-status people tend to pull back their guards and try to avoid talking to sharks because they don't want to be canvassed or their network being used for someone to reach their sales target. Now, in this course, you will learn how to not be a shark, yet still use networking to attain your goals, even if you network to make sales. Now, we'll get to that in the later modules, but for now, remember that on the networking floor, the focus is on building valuable connections, but building rapport and being relevant, not to sell. Now, the second reason why people don't like networking is that they see peacocks on the networking floor. I mean, not the actual bird, but metaphorical peacocks. People who look dapper and slick. They sound like they have the most interesting job ever or the most accomplished career possible. They're just showing their feathers at this networking function. Now, some people like hearing about the successes of others, but many feel overwhelmed or just less worthy if they can't portray a similar success. And yet, whilst of course you would want to present yourself and your professional background in a positive way, there's no need to brag or to show off. After all, networking is not about a pageant contest. It's a place where real people connect with other real people for many good reasons, not because your career is perfect. Now, thirdly, people feel uncomfortable going to a networking event because they see lots of social butterflies. It looks like this event only has people who smoothly move from one chat, talking a bit here and that, and then moving on to the next. Networking seems so easy for them. Now, some students feel a bit daunted by observing that behavior. They feel that others are social butterflies, but they consider themselves introverted or think that they are not that good at small talk or that they are not important enough to talk with everyone. Now, sometimes people don't like networking because they feel they can't act like a social butterfly. They tend to forget that they themselves have a lot of relevancy to bring to the table and they are able to connect and build rapport, making them potentially a very valuable networker. I hope this is a bit of a relief for you. You don't need to be on the hunt for a sale like a shark. You don't need to be showing your feathers like a peacock would do. And you don't need to be a born extrovert who finds it easy to move from chat to chat like a social butterfly. Just be your unique self. Wherever you are on the ladder, even if you are in a relatively junior position or unemployed or started a business that hasn't even been profitable so far, networking can work for you. Look, I got into Australia being unemployed and knowing no one in this country when I arrived. And in the first few months, I landed my first job via networking. I made sales via networking, both on and offline. And I made friends and found mentors via networking too. Now, you definitely have the ability to network like a pro. Just keep the three key pillars in the valuable connections model in mind. Do the networking the meaningful way. Quality over quantity. Now, we'll work on both bringing your uniqueness, your relevancy out of you in the networking floor and how you can connect better with everyone, including high-status people. Now, this approach in turn will increase the value of your network and the value you bring to others people network so that networking and referrals actually work for you. I'm Victor David and I help professionals with their networking skills. Now, if you found this interesting and useful, subscribe to the channel and also hop to thenetworkingexperience.com for more tips on networking skills.